We got our keys to our new EC unit early this year and decided to DIY our home design with the limited budget we had. For an EC, most of the fittings like floor tiles, doors, kitchens and toilets are all nicely done up, so we just had to get furniture and lightings. Just like everyone else, prior to getting our keys, we did some research looking for design inspirations on Pinterest, Renoblogs and ID Instagrams. So in this video, I just wanted to share our DIY journey by simplifying it into 8 steps. Fix on a colour palette first. This will be a guide to decide on the look and feel of your home. We stick to neutral colours like shades of grey and beige as our colour palette. More importantly, we also fix the primary colours of the walls to be white across all our rooms, but yet we didn't want it a pure white, so we had a shade of white that has a slight hint of bluish grey in it. An architect or friend of mine recommended cloud formation from Nippon Paint's colour swatches, which I thought was a perfect choice. Next, take out your floor plan, making sure to mark out all the measurements of every wall and corners. Note them down in millimeters as it will make things easier when you shop for your furniture or appliances. If you've already gotten your keys, it will be better to be there at your bare unit and measure manually using the measuring tape, because measurements might differ a little from your floor plan. With these measurements, you should roughly have an idea of the orientation in your room. Point to note, if you're engaging a feng shui master, they might have provided you with a preferred orientation. The easiest to start are your essentials. For example, you definitely need a TV in the living room, fridge in your kitchen and washer in your yard. What we did was to do up an Excel spreadsheet with the rooms we have and list out all the items we can first think of. Always come back to this list to add on the prices you have found so that you can work out your budget. We first settled on appliances as they are the easiest to decide on. Things like a TV, fridge, washer, microwave or your aircon. So here's sharing with you on how we shop for them. There's a formula to getting the right size TV. It shouldn't be too small or should it be too big. Just Google for it and the formula will be right there. We basically chose a 55-inch Samsung QLED Smart TV for our living room with a sitting distance of around 2 meters plus. During then, we paid around 1,100 for it. We thought TV technology now changes almost every year, so we didn't want to get anything high-end, just something reasonable with a reliable brand. We took a while to decide on the fridge, and set on one where the freezer is at the bottom column, as we probably will not access our freezer most of the time. Eventually, we chose this 436-litre Samsung fridge at around $650 because we bought a few Samsung items together and they gave us 50% off on the fridge. The deal was so good! We got this 9-litre Samsung washer dryer at around 1.2k. Google for the size of the washer you might need based on the people in your household. We had just 2 of us for now, and we wanted it to at least be able to wash and dry our bed sheets, so a size like this was just nice for us. Earlier on in step 3, you would have roughly had an idea of the orientation of your rooms. Now's the time to fix on it. I shall share more in the coming videos on how we plan for it, so meanwhile I'll just keep this here, but do subscribe to my channel and look out for the next video. So once you have the orientation of the rooms, you can move on to planning the lights. Do this after planning on the layout of your place because you will need to know where your lights have to be focused on and where is the best place to create the best ambience. You can refer to my earlier videos on the lights I have for my home, but here are 2 quick pointers. We wanted our ceiling to be clean and neat, so we chose lights that are concealed or flushed in the false ceiling. There's the common ones like cove lights that are normally used to create ambience in the space, down lights that give even lighting to brighten up your space, spotlights to brighten up a targeted space. There are different shades of whites in lights, and these are determined by their numbers. It generally ranges from 3000 to 6000. The higher the number goes, the more cooler bluish tones it has. So I spoke to a light specialist where he recommended warmer whites for home as it gives a softer ambience and mood. Cool white are normally for offices, so you can have them in your study area or where you work. The above 6 steps are all the pre-renovation works. So now we'll be moving on into the actual works to be done. Sequence of the renovation works are very important. You wouldn't want to mess up the steps and have the electrician coming in to do our wiring cables at the last and you'd have to cut up all the wall and ceiling again. A brief guide will be this. Get your electrical and plumbing works in first, followed by a false ceiling or partition works if you have. And after which, it's time to send in the carpenters. Get them to do up a built-in wardrobe, beds and all first. Then get the painters to paint up the bare walls. Oh yes, but make sure your painter do a good job sticking up all the corners of the carpentry works to avoid getting paint to your fittings. But for now, I believe many of you will be asking me where or which contractor you should get. I just wanted to share 2 tips that I have based on my experience. First, you need to understand the different types of contractors there are. First will be the bao contractors with no workshop, meaning these are just coordinators who contact all the different contractors to do the job for you, and then they quote a markup from there. And then there's the contractors who they themselves are either carpenters or plastering companies that has a workshop themselves. Normally these contractors has all the contacts to electricians, plumbers, painters and all. If you are using them, I would suggest to also use the contacts they provide, as it will make it easier for them to coordinate the works between themselves. The next tip I have is to feel the chemistry with these contractors. I think this will be the most important. Meet them at their office and see if their company is legit. Speak more with them and see if they could understand you and get them to show you examples of what you have explained to confirm this. I would personally prefer the second type of contractors where they have their own workshops. So they tend to adhere to quality and won't try to be funny since they are facing you guys directly. I had found a carpenter myself for my work. However, this group of contractors are normally the uncle group, where you might face some challenges with language and communication barriers. But if you're lucky, you will be able to find one that you can connect with and get the job done well. By now, you would have purchased all your appliances or perhaps some of the furniture. For us, we waited until we have fixed on the fittings and lightings with our contractors before making our furniture purchases. This way, we had an estimate of when the reno works will be done and you can schedule the delivery accordingly. And so, these were the steps we went through to DIY our home design and reno. Hope this will help you in your DIY journey as well. Once your home is up, do remember to also check out my smart home videos to smart up your homes. See you next video. Goodbye.